Hey guys, this is Zem from Stray Gaming, and I'm going to do another video on map awareness, specifically geared more toward the artillery player. This is actually one of them, probably the funnest game I've had in a long time in this game, in World of Tanks, just because of the sheer amount of movement. Um, it was really close, it was really tight. Both teams playing great. There was flanking, there was maneuvering. There was it had a little bit of everything. So it was a really fun match to play in, and typically as an artillery player, especially when it comes to map awareness, I tend to support the side with where the medium and lights go, and I like to drive kind of toward that area. One, because typically the heavy side is always slower, right? There's always a lot of booming and peak and booming, and there's not a lot of movement there. Where the other side can turn really fast, right? The the medium side could fall and fail very quickly. So, like I said, I tend to favor the the lights and the medium sides over the heavy side, just for that reason. Um, Obviously, I pick out targets that I have a fair chance of hitting, or in this case, I just spam a shell and hopefully I nail something. But like I said, I tend to at least for the map awareness part, I tend uh, to want to help those mediums and lights because simply the speed of the enemy team. Once they're down, once that side of the map is down, usually it doesn't take very long before you have a fucking medium or light tank, trying to, kill you. So it behooves you um, to support those sides uh, where you're going to get pushed. And typically, like in this game, there's four TVPs. There's a lot of mediums. There's a bat chat. So there's some very dangerous tanks. 57 heavy up on the hill with these guys too. But yeah, so that map awareness part of it. So I'm looking for usually the more dangerous tank, which in this sense is a T57, the TVPs, uh, the Strevs. Um, really in tier 10, there's not a lot of really there's not a lot of tanks that are not dangerous, obviously. But I try to take opportunity shots at whatever tanks that are causing me my team problems. In this situation, the 57 that's kind of hauled down a little bit here. He's kind of creating a roadblock for my team. So I'm going to knock that frontal tank out, right, and try my best to open up an avenue for my medium tanks and light tanks to move ahead. Now, as the game has progressed here, uh, the medium and lights have pushed them off of the hill, right? So now I'm not feeling as insecure about this position. So I know that they've already got to push that bar back. So now I'm going to turn and help my heavies because, as I've noticed now, as you're watching the map, that they're down a bunch of tanks. We have literally two left here. So I'm going to uh, turn and assist in them. I should have actually, in this one that was part of the game, I kind of brain farted here. I should have shot for the RHM and the TVP that have come around behind these guys. So, that's one of those deals. It's kind of a hindsight. You're like, obviously helping a teammate getting flanked is always important. So now, as you've watched, the map has rotated here, right? So we have the push coming down the 1-2-3 line, and we have the push on our side coming on the 8-9 line, right? So, like I said, the map is rotating here. So now with the death of the 57, so I now is the time I need to be moving because here comes the heavy push. Here comes the push that I was hoping wasn't going to happen, but it did. Our team lost that. The TVPs are coming in. The only thing I really left here is the Moss. As you noticed, two of the mediums and the Grove come back. They're paying attention, right? They see this rotation of this map, They see that here comes a whole bunch of red into cap. Like I said, this was a great game for that. Everybody understanding the roles, everybody understanding what's going on. Lots of movement and all that stuff. So now I've put myself behind the hill, behind a bush, and I'm back in the action again, once again, to support them. So now I could have took a shot out here, and hopefully maybe I would hit the TVP, but I instead went for the E100, and of course dunked the shot because he got tracked. With the new changes in artillery, I don't think in this whole game I had more than one shot that went over 450 hit points, or 450 damage. So it's one of those things. It really sucks missing a shot now, because you're not gonna, you're doing 350, 400, 450, maybe 500 once in a while, but so your damage is down, and it's always important to make sure you're nailing your shots. So in this situation, I got 93. I think the PZ, the PZ2 actually took most of that damage, but like I said, you want to make sure you hit your shots, and yeah, it's fun hitting heavy tanks because they're big and slow and they don't move around a lot, but a lot of times they're not the dangerous ones. So you always want to pick tanks that are a threat to you personally as an artillery piece. So now these guys have backed off. Now I'm pushing once again back around to where I was originally, just because I'm afraid of the Batchat and the Grill coming up behind me. I've seen games lost. Literally, the entire team focuses one direction and then forgets the back door. So it's one of those map awareness things about paying attention to where the enemy tanks are and where they could possibly show up. Now this Batchat 25T spent most of the game. Obviously, he's fucking watching way too many. Once again, watching way too many fucking YouTube channels. If he actually would have been off that hill and involved in the action, this might have turned out quite a bit differently. The action of the game with his in the autoloader. Once those guys stopped pushing past that point, he's kind of become a more or less just a spotter. He's not. I don't think he had his gun in play a whole lot most of the game. Actually, I think other than the enemy mouse panic, he had it with 7K, but that Batchat I think had less than 2,000 damage. He with an autoloader, it's pretty hard to justify sitting up on that ridge most of that game. It might work in a puppy match where you have guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing, but this isn't one of those games. So, but it's like I said, so we're back to the we've all mixed, we've all turned, we've all rotated. The map's now rotated back. They've stopped their push. Now they're pulling back the other direction. There's a little bit of I mean, obviously the game slowed down because of this stalemate that we reached, and this is where artillery players really come in. This is your bread and butter right here, right? A stalemate between two teams, and it's now that you really have to be important that you hit your shots. Take the extra time, don't snap shots. Try to work yourself in position that you're going to best be able to support your team. It's obviously that Moss, I'm not going to move over there just so I can get shots on him. I'm going to try to keep center watched. These guys are pushing down the 2-3 line, so I'm going to get my reticle out in front of there and see if they can spot this Panzerwagen 7 and see if I can support them, right? So they're pushing and the other ones are holding, so I need to change it up. And so obviously at this point here comes Panzerwagen 7 pushing in behind, so this gives me a chance. Once again, I need to be in that position to support my 140 and my T100 light tank, because he's got 1500 health and they're both almost one shots. So I don't have a shot. You have to move, right? You can't sit and hang out. You need to try to get into that position. Like in this, I kind of had an idea that he was going to start moving ahead anyway. So obviously I moved my reticle ahead. He got a little real pushy here, so it was one of those deals where I obviously wanted him to move in so I can clear my range or clear my gun barrel. Nailed him, tracked him, stunned him, whatever, and it gives the chance for my mediums and lights to swarm him and finish him off. So like I said, at this point in the game, it's really flowing. So this, like I said, this game's getting exciting, right? We're literally tied. You got 5 minutes left. Everybody's kind of low health. It's an exciting game. It's one of those games that whether you win or lose, it's always like, oh, right? It's satisfying. Maybe that's the word for it. It's close. It's not a fucking steamroll where you're getting beaten. 4 tanks dead on their team and all 15 of you are dead. And you hardly get any chance to really do anything because you literally just got rolled. So once again, back to the game here. We have so now, like I said, back to the stalemate. And this is where artillery really becomes, like I said, this is their bread and butter. This is the time where you want to make your shots. You want to keep your gun in play. You want to make sure you're hitting things. So obviously, like this grill here, he had a HE loaded because he was gonna shoot the other grill, and it didn't work out well. He only did 368 to the bat chat, which he should have almost took half of his health, right? So I am trying to, and most of the time in this game is trying to keep my teammates alive, right? With that grill right there, he was running, he had a long reload. I had a clear shot on him, I took it. Yeah, the medium probably could have finished him off, but I also wanted him to save his shot for that bat chat. The bat chat was probably the bigger risk for him. That gave him a chance at least to get a couple shots, I think one shot back into the bat chat instead of wasting it on the grill. So, you have to make those kind of decisions. It's kind of I could have took the bat chat shot, but I prefer to take the, knock the grill out and make sure he's out of the game. Now you see me moving here, obviously, because I don't have shots. With the mouse left alive on our 2 mediums, and they have 1 artillery who's, he's already up to 2 kills. So he's probably pretty decent player. So, and both of our mediums are almost dead. So we have a 48 pad comes around flanks, and then we have the 140. He played peekaboo and didn't get in there till later here in the deal. Now this is kind of one of those deals too, is where it's pretty hard to push a Moss anymore because of the reload buff, right? So the 140 pushed up, tried to take a shot, probably should have ran and just let me take, let him come out and see if I could finish him off. So here we are. So we got the Moss dead, finished off the Moss, and now it's literally artillery, 1 minute 50 seconds left. Like I said, this was an exciting game. I mean, as an artillery player, even as if I'm playing in the fucking in a medium or heavy, I love games like this. These are the kind of stuff that makes you satisfy this. It's fun as hell. So now, so one-on-one, typically I would probably lose to a bat chat just because of their mobility and whatnot. For some reason, he didn't aim that worth a shit, and he pretty much blew it right here. And then obviously he's in a reload, which makes it even make it funnier because he did have a chance to actually maybe kill me on that deal. But so now it's arty on arty. This is where the separates the boys from the girls, I guess. And I finish him off for the last kill. I actually ended up with the blind shots in here. I ended up with 4,200 damage. 1,000 from tracking them, and another 1,300 for stun damage. So it was a really good game for me. It was actually a really good game all the way around for everybody. This was one of those great, exciting games that you always want to get into. It wasn't just another role where you get you either get rolled or the other team gets rolled. Those to me are kind of, eh. I hate getting rolled, and I hate rolling teams. One, because you die if you get rolled, and the other one, if you trying to get damage in and you can't get damage in because the fucking team's dead in 3 minutes. Yeah, those aren't fun. So this is one of those games, like I said, it was really, really fun to watch. Especially from the Hardy perspective, and it was a really fun game to play with. And it was great to have such good players on my side, and there were some really good players on the other side. So it made it a very, very competitive game. So, well, thanks guys for listening, and I will see you guys later.